"Rabbi, we have caught this woman in the act of adultery. Moses, in the law, permit us to destroy her by stoning her. What do you have to say?" He bent down and began to write. And after the second question, he said to them, "Any one of you who have no sin, throw the stone at her." But the most important, powerful statement was, "Woman, no one condemned you, neither I. Go now and sin no more." As I said to you, today we come to the conclusion of the season of Lent. Lent, in its very meaning, is the clean-up. And we clean up within ourselves what is not good. And throw away what is sin away from us, so that that shalom and peace of Christ at Easter can be bestowed on us and be with us forever. In the first reading today, we heard the prophet Isaiah. Anyone can tell me what Isaiah tried to say there? What he's trying to remind the people who are going through the second exile, the exile of Babylon? He's reminding them of the first exile. How they came through the desert, where God provides food for them, water for them, where God rescued them, while God did for them what they were afraid that will take place, destroy the army of the Pharaoh. They would die in the sea and they will rise no more. And that was not done by the power of the Israelites, but by the power of God. But God is going to do something new. Instead of making the obstinate Pharaoh to subject them to be slaves, he is going to rise the king of Syria, Cyrus I, to be taken over the country of Babylon, and he will free them to go back to Palestine, to be a nation, to build a temple, and again begin to be the chosen people of God. Exactly what Isaiah said in that first reading. In the Gospel today, I want you for a moment to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And this is very embarrassing, especially for our sisters among us. They caught this woman in the act of adultery. You know what that means? Half naked. And they brought this woman with a little or nothing clothes on her. And they pushed her in front of the rabbi, in front of these people who are hearing. Imagine how she felt, this woman. She felt so cheap. When she looks at the eyes of this piercing rabbi, that most innocent of all. From all the titles they give to Jesus, they never said to him he was impure. Imagine how the heart of Jesus feels at all the nonsense we hear today about the priest Paraphlia. Imagine how Jesus feels about that. How his heart is really not torn, but really saddened. When those who are under Christus are doing the most horrible thing that ever happened in the history of the church. And this woman with her head bowed is being asked to be stoned. And now they are waiting for the rabbi to talk. But Jesus gives us 3 lessons. The first lesson is, he ignored them. The worst thing you can do to people when they try to confront you is ignore them. I still remember Monsignor Barnes used to tell me, ignore them, they are a bunch of idiots. Reconsider the source. I have been a long time ago to tell you this. Ignore them, because if not, you will fail. And Jesus did ignore them. I wish I know that lesson. The second thing is, when they confront him, after he ignored them by bent down and right, he stood up straight. And that's what you need to do to people who think they are going to put you down. And if you are really that innocent person, that what they are claiming you did is not true, you can be the straight person. And that's what we need to understand, that Jesus really teach each one of us that we don't throw stones at our glass homes. How many of you, including myself, if your daughter, my son, did something horrible, do you want the whole town to have pictures and the story of what your son and daughter has done based on all the stores and business places? How many of you would like that? And if it's not good for you, it's not good for nobody. But you say, Father, it's true. But you have no right to speak about it. Who are you? Today you are pointing finger at your daughter, of your love, of your friend, and tomorrow will knock at your door. We are all in the same boat. And that's what Jesus teaches in that lesson. And the third lesson is, if you have no sin, cast the first stone. My dear people, I hope we learn a lesson from this, because this is one of the destruction point in our church. There is evil, we know that, but the spreading of evil is what condemns evil. It's like we are immune to evil. It's like everyone is so after all, join the crowd. And then Jesus said to the woman, after he said to her, where are they? St. Jerome said that the second time he was writing, he was saying, Caiaphas, do you remember on the 24th of June, you would have adultery with such and such a person? He was writing their sins. And they were so shocked that they ran away. And that's what they do, people who really point fingers. Anytime they don't even write their name to a letter, because they don't want to really do the good for the person, but they want to ruin the reputation. As they say, they throw their hand, and they throw the stone and hide their hand. What kind of a gentleman you are, or a lady? Let me go in the second reading today. And the second reading was taken from St. Paul to the people of Philippi. And these people were the most favored people in the ministry of St. Paul. St. Paul has a career. He was a Pharisee. He was taught by the best. In fact, he came from Tarsus and he came to Jerusalem and stayed with his sister just to be at the feet of Gamaliel, the best philosopher and even scripture, to learn from him and to be the best that he can be. And he said in the letters, he said, I was the best of my own classmates. And so the Pharisee even looked at him with high hopes that he can become the high priest, that he can become someone special in the life of the Jewish people. But with all that career and promotion expect, St. Paul said, all this I consider rubbish, because I gain one thing, and that gain is Jesus Christ.